of today, things you must do, things you should do, and some real opportunities for growth. And that's going to be in the kind of the pay to play, side of things that Julie was talking about. One of the most morbid but most serious things that every business owner needs to understand is that you either have to be growing or you're dying. In a way, business is kind of like running up the down escalator, because the market is constantly growing and constantly evolving. If you're not constantly growing and evolving, you're in the process of going backwards. And it's a little bit sad to think, right? It's not like, doesn't sound super motivating until you get into a growth mindset. And once you get into a growth mindset, you realize that's everything. Everything is growth. Growth creates momentum, and it's huge. Here are 5 online basics that every single one of you needs to make sure to do today if you don't already have these done. And honestly, it's a good thing to audit right now. Set up Google My Business. Set up your Facebook Business Manager. And that includes you having a business page, not like a personal profile that you use. And a lot of you do. One of the big things is going into 2021 and finishing up Q4 here in 2020 is making sure you have a Facebook page and everything linked under a business manager, not just your personal account. Again, I'm going to go through a training of this. I just want to explain it here in the coffee chat. And please, at any time, if you have a question, just speak up, because I don't mind being interrupted, or it should be a conversation, right? So, and then on with your Instagram, you should make sure it's a business account, and that's really easy, just right in the settings, and then optimizing your bio. And I'm going to share mine, not because it's perfect, but because it's mine and I don't mind sharing it. So like, this is my personal, my business Instagram. And when you edit the profile here from the desktop, you can actually use like emojis and paragraphs and all kinds of stuff. But one of the things, if you're a local business, say where your business is located. If you're local, one of the first things people want to see is what you are and where you are. And that's like and then 90% of it is going to be what you are and who you are. So, if you're in, I don't know, somebody give me their location. Where are you guys based? Anybody? What city?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. Baltimore, Maryland's #1 spa, voted, whatever, right? Make it significant, make it meaningful, make it location based, right? Because one of the things is, if you're in Baltimore and I'm in Los Angeles, California, I might follow you because it's fun, but I'm probably not going to be a direct customer coming in, this when you guys reopen. So really important to optimize your profile. Make your professional, have your profile pic be professional, right? And if you're a local business, that usually should be your logo, optimized for the circle. All right. These ones usually people get. These next 2 are the ones that I'm shocked how often people miss. Yelp, I'm not a huge fan of paying for Yelp, not at all, but you should have your Yelp profile fully accurate and optimized. Make sure that all the, because there are, and these 2, number 4 and 5, are really important, because there are a lot of businesses, of other apps that pull from the data from Apple Maps and from Yelp. And so if you don't have that information accurate, it's often wrong in other places. And then the last one there was Apple Maps. For some reason, this one's,
I don't know about Yelp and Apple Maps, but I find like Google My Business has been huge for SEO, like free, but
massive.
big for SEO.
Huge, because it's Google's main database to pull from. They're always going to prioritize their data over other people's data. And so anybody that's using, and just as good as Google My Business is for anybody using Google or Chrome, Apple Maps is the same for people using Bing or their native Maps feature on their phone, right? If like, I personally, like, if 50, let's just use an easy number, 50% of people use Apple phones. Of those 50% of people, like 75% use the native map app in their phone. They don't install Google Maps, or they don't use Waze. They use the native thing. Just that's how the average user does. All of those pull from Apple Maps. So if you're a local business, and you're not using and all your data is not updated on Apple Maps, which I included the link, and again I'll send this out to Julie to share. But it's not that hard to find, but some people just don't even think to look. Then your information when people search isn't even showing up on the map. And a lot of people use maps to search for local businesses, right? Different than using a search engine when they're looking for like something broad. They'll be on their phone and they'll pull up and see spas open near me. So one of the big things right now during coronavirus is make sure your addresses are updated, or your addresses and your hours are updated. How frustrating is it to like see a business, see that it says it's open, you drive over there and it's closed? It's not hard to keep your hours updated. These are your main places to do that, right? Again, these are online basics. These aren't tips, tricks, hacks, or anything. These are things that you should just add into set a calendar, like paste this right here into a calendar reminder to like pop up once a month. And you just go and update these every month. Just make sure that they're accurate, because things change. On your websites, make sure that they are secure, again, updated and accurate, and that they're mobile friendly. Google about 2 years ago started penalizing websites for not being mobile friendly. So for SEO and basic free search results, you have to be mobile optimized. Now, a lot of times, if you're not super tech savvy, a lot of times the websites that you use to build have a free update to do that, or I'm a firm believer that it's worth paying to make sure that you have all of those things done. And then same thing, make sure your websites have your contact information, hours of operation, directions, and or landmarks. When I lived in Africa, a lot of times addresses were really hard. So they just say like, it's the pink house across from the Chicken Licken, right? And so you may want to, give easy landmarks, because not everyone knows which way north is. But include that too. All right, those are the basics. And the last one that's super important on there is include a direct call to action. Your website should be simple, not overwhelming with information, and there should be a clear step that you want visitors to take. And that should be the same on your social profiles, on everything you do. What is the next step? So if you are a spa and right now you're closed, but you're offering an at-home spa package where you'll send out bath bombs and a facial kit or whatever, right? If you're whatever it is that you're promoting at that time, or if you're pushing gift certificates right now for the holiday season, whatever the main thing you're trying to sell and offer is should be the main call to action, and not overwhelming with like, here's 30 choices of what you can do. Okay. Now, when we get into this next level, and this is the thing where I'm going to share a training with you guys later, because it takes about a half hour, and I didn't want the whole call to just be me doing a training specific on how to set things up. So instead, I wanted to share why you should, and then I'm going to give the training to Julie and you guys, anybody that wants it, okay? And you guys can go through that at your own time. But on the next level is Google Ads. And all of these, I highly encourage you doing like $5 a day. Not super crazy. Don't try to go out the gate and all of a sudden spend hundreds of dollars a day, but have a basic Google ad at least for branded search. Meaning, if somebody is searching for Julie's Spa, don't have them bid on that term so they don't go to a competitor. Okay. And then Facebook ads, and we're going to go through all of this. One of my favorite things for local businesses is working with local influencers. And so global influencers are, hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers. Local influencers are often micro influencers. They might only have, a very normal number of followers online, but those people listen and follow what they do. I love finding ways to take care of those people, both on Instagram and Facebook. And if they have the admins of the local everything but the kitchen sink or city exchange Facebook groups, things like that, find ways to take care of them and get their influence in their advertising. I'm a big believer in local influencers for local businesses, really high leverage opportunities. Email marketing is super.
Sorry,
Yeah.
is it Google
No,
Ads?
please.
That's AdWords, right?
Yep. It's no longer called AdWords. It's,
okay.
The ad platform formerly known as AdWords, which is now Google Ads, and that's just ads.google.com. And again, at the very basic, just a basic local business campaign, which Google's
Yeah,
really
I
good
mean,
about
and
walking
I
you through
will
those.
speak from experience, not my personal experience, because, I'll be honest, I don't use ads as much as I should, but I'm working with a great marketing company that's going to help me with that. But I do know some brick and mortars that were using Google AdWords, and some of Christopher Drummond. He's been at the SpaHive events. He swears, and he doesn't have to throw a ton of money at these ads. And so he's a microblading artist, and he swears that brings in so much traffic just by spending a small amount of money. I mean, I can't tell you 100 times he's probably told me about using it, and I just don't. So
And
don't do what I
is he
do.
local? Is he local? Is he local based?
He's based in New York City, but he does ads for different markets, because for him, he travels as a
He
microblading
travels. Yeah.
artist. Yeah, so he'll search what areas of the country are searching these keywords that he uses, and then he targets them. So let's say it's like Detroit, Michigan, some
Yep.
random place that's
Yeah.
really searching this keyword, and then he'll turn around and target them.
Yeah. So that's why local advertising. So there are some major reasons why local businesses have an advantage when it comes to advertising and influencers. And Aaron, Arena, I see your question. I'm going to address that here in a second. And one of the reasons is you don't have to compete against the people bidding nationwide. So when you're competing nationwide for ad space, you're competing against major brands that are bidding on nationwide. So you're competing against the people who are spending stupid amounts of money. But when you're local, you only have to compete against the people like us who may not be that experienced, and so you get a major leg up. So if you're targeting microblading Baltimore, right? Very few other people are searching that, and Google prioritizes relevancy over just whoever's bidding the most. So they want people's search results to be relevant, and then they prioritize who's bidding the most, right? So it's not just a pay whoever. It's not the simple algorithm. Just whoever bids the most gets the spot. And so
Mhm.
yeah, I'm a huge believer in managing your local keywords and really dominating that space. And you can start with like a single campaign, very low, and just get started with your most direct keyword, or even just your brand to start with. So that again, what you don't want is somebody to type in your brand in your spa or your location and get the result and go somewhere else, right? Because somebody else advertised. So always step one is defense, protect your brand, and then step two is offense, get other people in. Arena, I hope I'm saying your name right. It's how do you find local influencers? That's a really good question. It's a lot easier than you think. So in Instagram, you can look at post by location. Let's see. I think like you can literally click into a location, and then you can find, it's harder to do on your computer than it is anywhere else. This is a really old picture that I posted, but here, these are all the pictures from people in Ontario, California. And then you can go by top posts, or you can go by most recent, and you can look and see who's really getting massive engagement posting in your area. It isn't filtered, it's just by location. So your post might be kind of weird based on the location. And then from there, or you can go into your Facebook groups, right? And there's a local Facebook group. Most of your local Facebook group. They're either called Everything in the Kitchen Sink, or whatever your city name is, Talks, or there's a bunch of them. There's usually like a local buy-sell group and a local like gossip group and a whatever. And whichever one you think kind of vibes with your community the best, and then you can see who the admins of those groups are, and just send them a message on Facebook. Hey, I'm a local business owner. We're running a campaign right now where we're supporting local Facebook group admins with a special offer. I wanted to send you a gift, and don't make it and if you want this gift, then please post about it. Don't make it a quid pro quo. Just support them. And so do something within a budget that makes sense. But if you did Imagine if you did like 4 or 5 of those a month, and you just built these relationships with all of the people that ran local, like that had good sized Instagram accounts in your community, and that ran all the local Facebook groups. All of a sudden, when you did need something, right, you'd have good rapport, and likelihood is they'd probably be sharing it along the way. So those are two ways to find local influencers. If you're not doing email marketing, and you don't have an email list, find a way to start capturing emails, because imagine if, when a business shut down, you had all of everybody's contact information and they were already used to hearing from you. Well, it would have been a lot easier to make that pivot towards needing to be more digitally focused. So in the kind of the coming future is text messaging, right, which is becoming a lot more common because text messages have a much higher open rate. And there's a lot of cool things that you can do with automations. We're actually developing a software called Text Flows that will automate all of that for you. Like somebody opts into a page, and then you can get a series of text messages and specials from them. And then this is one of my favorite like little hacks that I would use maybe once a year, and it's called Slide Broadcast. So you can actually, let's say, do most of you have at least some sort of a customer database? Whether it's, something people have filled out online, a customer profile or something, anything, even if it's
Say
50
yeah, that
people.
they do.
Yeah. Even if it's 50 people, but let's say, when we had the gyms, we usually had, anywhere from 150 to 1,000 people in there. And what we would do is about once a year, we would send out a voicemail broadcast, and you can use this company called Slide Broadcast, and it's not very expensive. And what you do is you pre-record a message that you take out anything super personal, and you say, hey, this is Tyler from your location, and I'm offering, I just wanted to reach out because we haven't seen you in a while, and we have this really cool offer and we would do this about halfway through the month. We'd say, hey, if you wanted to get started again, just come in for free for the rest of the month, and then we'll start your billing the following month. So come in and have the rest of the month on me for free. And we did that as long as they signed up, re-signed back up, they'd get anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks for free. And it was just, but again, you record the message one time, and then you upload your list into Slide Broadcast, and you press send, and it sends it to everybody's voicemail. It doesn't, the phone. So what it does is it calls their phone twice exactly at the same time, so that then the phone's busy, and then it just puts the message right in their voicemail box. And we would get about a 75% delivery rate, because some people either don't have, it was a landline or whatever. And those ones just kind of don't go through. But we would get, a massive return on that every time, because it was just something no one else is doing. They're not, they get a voicemail that sounds like it's directly from you. They're like, oh man, I want to come in and take advantage of that, especially if the offer is good.
Awesome, Tyler, because I think for so many years, I don't know if there's any hotel spas on the call right now, but Marianne knows that my trick of the trade, for all my years since I was the very first spa director, is that when someone came into the hotel, someone from the spa would leave a voicemail on their room saying, welcome to the hotel. I'm so-and-so calling from the spa. We wanted to just welcome you and let you know that we're available to book any appointments that you might be interested in, give a quick little blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you would get people on the phone, sometimes you wouldn't. But I can tell you, and every client that I've worked with in a hotel setting will attest to this, that it boosts bookings huge. I mean, you could get like 4, 5, 6, 10 new bookings a day, which is huge, just by picking up the phone and leaving a message. Marianne says so many calls made, but it didn't work.
Julie and Marianne, what's so amazing about 2020 is all of this can be automated. So you don't have to make all those calls every time. We can actually set up an automation where somebody books, it triggers a voicemail to be sent without you having to re-record it every single time.
Yeah, we were calling 150 guest rooms.
Yeah. And that's the thing where like hotels and today's spas can evolve, and I think that's an awesome thing. I've personally seen those and had those messages, and my wife and I, like I said last week, love going to spas. So it does work. The thing is like you can automate so many of these things now. So, but in the meantime, at least keep doing it, right?
Yeah. And
But
I
huge
wanted to
believer in that
just
kind of
jump
stuff.
in for Arena. So I have Tyler, I think, do we still have Tyler pinned? No, we don't. It doesn't look like, but so Arena, I don't know if you're in your car, but I just searched Hartford, Connecticut in my Instagram, and I scrolled through and I saw, this lovely picture with 2,400 likes. So I clicked who this gal is, Style Me Africa. She's a beauty, lifestyle, fashion, Black owned and proud influencer with 290 followers based in Hartford. So then I said, okay, well, is her audience your audience, right? We don't know this yet. I'm just, we're just looking quickly. And so then I found another gal on here. Well, now oh yeah, here's a cute one. So she's, when I click her, she was called Massachusetts Mama, but she, lives over the border. She has 11,000 followers and some really great engagement. And she's about wellness, motherhood, working mom. And, her engagement with 11,000 followers, she's in the Springfield area. It looks like, 700, 1,000, likes, not to mention the kind of engagement she's getting. So literally while Tyler's talking for 2 minutes, I could do this search and I just sent her an Instagram message being like, love your page. I'm a spa owner in, XYZ town, would love to do some work with you and, offer her one of your amazing facials and let her talk about it.
Yeah, if they are a legitimate, if you influencer, meaning they have already gotten to the point where they're running their account as a business, then I'm okay going directly to a business conversation. Hey, would love to collaborate with you, and then see where it goes. If they are a influential person, but they're just a local influential person, then I just find a way to spoil them, right? And take care of them without any, because it's not a business for them yet. So that if it comes off transactional, it might feel icky to somebody.
Yeah.
But by the time they've stepped into that situation of, like, this is what I do, I am an online influencer, then I keep it professional because now I'm speaking to a professional. Does that make sense? So just, and you can tell that just by those two accounts and generally kind of how they're listing things. And if you're not sure which way it is, then I would be friendly and just, kind of keep it that way first. Anyway, so these are your kind of like your shortcuts and your hacks. And again, what I was originally going to go through was literally the step-by-step like way to set up your Facebook ads. But I think that with the amount of time we have and with the depth, I'm instead going to have a whole recorded training that I'll make sure Julie gets out to all of you, how to get access to that. Okay. And so what I want to do just in the last little bit is cover a couple of last things, and then let's just really open it up. So there's really only 3 ways that any of you can make more money, or any of us. And we can get more customers, increase our prices, or sell more to the existing customers. Those are the 3 levers that we have to pull, or levers, depending how you want to say it. And so sometimes it's harder to go and get more customers. A lot of times right now, people are very price sensitive. So an opportunity to sell more to our existing customers is what is commonly known in the marketing world as a value ladder. So most of us do a really good job of selling, selling the basics. Somebody comes in and you sell the thing that they ask. And I know, having gone to a lot of spas are good on the upsell, right? Like, hey, do you want to add the hot stone treatment? Do you want to add the essential oils? Do you want to add all these other things, right? But the one thing that a lot of spas could do a better job of is after that. How do you get someone to come back after they came in for a treatment. And so, for example, if in the hotel world, if I'm there for more than one day, and if they had said, hey, you know what, if you so one of the hotels that we like to go to back when it was easier to go to hotels, they had a really nice like spa pool separate from the rest of the location. If they had during while we were booking, if they had said, hey, and if you actually want to extend your access for the pool for the rest of your trip, it's only $20 more. We'd do it every time. And that, I mean, it's not a high cost situation, right? Then the likelihood if I'm back over and going through the spa again the next day of me booking another treatment. Anyways, very simple, just how else can you sell to your existing customers? We won't go into a depth on this, but just think of ways that you can leverage, these three levers of the three ways to make more money with your customers. The 3 C's of local business, and this is where, to me, local businesses will always have an advantage over online businesses, is community, communication, and collaboration. You have an ability to communicate and connect with people in a way that online businesses will always struggle with, because you are a part of the community. And that is one of the greatest assets that local businesses can have. And if you are moving towards a more of a remote situation, or if you are a business that sells into community, just remember how important these things are, right? And how can you increase your collaboration and the human side of your communication in order to keep your growth going. And so that is, again, I am more than happy to go into any details on any of these. I just wanted to make sure kind of we cover, there's a lot, right? It feels like a lot when you do it all at once. If you work through these things slowly, you can get a lot of this done in a single afternoon. And again, I'll get you, make sure you guys get this training. But is there any other questions about, okay, I'm looking at Lisa at a statement. I would think reaching out to local media, consumer type reporters, too, as influencers. Absolutely. So I have a radio show, and a lot of times I get free tickets to local things, and yeah, like I share them on my Instagram. I should talk about them on the radio show. I share them on Facebook, and anybody local who has reach is a great person to connect with, and that can be reporters, and like I said, like Facebook group admins or Instagram account owners, or even there's a couple of ones that are sometimes overlooked, which are people that are really high Yelp review raters and Google reviewers. So because those people get a lot of reach. I think I've had over like 150 million views on my pictures on Google Maps. So it's crazy, but just basically, so Regina says Google ads not work for me, but Yelp and Google reviews help me a lot. And so usually when someone says Google ads or Facebook ads didn't work, it usually was not the platform. And I don't know your specific situation, Regina, but it's usually not the platform as much as maybe there was a slight mistake in setting them up. So if I accidentally targeted broad, or if I didn't target to if I didn't set the budget right, or I didn't make sure to have a direct call to action on my website. One of the other things that can really be tough is if you're saying something on the ad and then they click on it and they just go to your homepage, or they go to a page that's not relevant, then it's not going to really work for you. So you really have to think from the consumer's point of view. What's the ad what's the search word they're searching for? What's the ad showing? And then what's the landing page that they're going to? And again, it can feel overwhelming. So my recommendation with these lists that we're going through is to start with the lowest hanging fruit, the things that you're already the most comfortable with, the things that you could improve today, right? Step one is just like get a little bit better at what you're already doing. And then step two is like, okay, how can I start really growing on the ones maybe I don't know, and work through those little by little. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on, and I think, you don't need to become an online marketing master. You just need to get the foundations and the basics there.
So Tyler, so many times, our clients come, really from word of mouth, right? And, we've talked about the spa industry in details, in other phone calls together. And So if right now most of our business is coming from word of mouth, but we really need more business, right? Because whatever, I mean, everyone always needs more business, but because of COVID, we definitely need more business. And everyone that I'm talking to, is saying, 2021 has to be my year. So I think now we're taking the steps so that we can, I think one of my favorite things to say is, we crawl so that we can walk, so that we can run, right? So we know what's worked for us. And, word of mouth has been super successful because all of the spas in Coffee Chat have, amazing spas, and they're nurturing and they give extra to their clients. But now they want to take the next step. So they're going from crawling to walk. So doing these small first steps, right, is like the next step. And then what we're going to show them in this training will be kind of your slow jog starting to ramp up momentum. What are you thinking about that? I'm trying to just put it, in bite sizes so that everybody, doesn't feel overwhelmed with this work.
Yeah, so I really think that the list of the online basics is super, super vital. And I'm going to paste it here into the chat just so that some of the links are there. So at least just making sure those basics are updated will have, you won't, it's not like you're going to notice a light switch and all of a sudden business quadruples overnight just from these things. But it will make a significant impact, especially over time, especially compared to your competitors that aren't doing these things. And then, yeah, um, now like moving into the paid side of things and into really like that's where you can really start to differentiate. The big difference is when you switch into paid, you want to make sure that you have offers clear. And so Irina asks a really good question. She has a lot of free products, that she can use as gifts. What do you think is the best way to utilize them now to promote more gift certificates and sales in general? So there's two general ways that I use like the free stuff I get to create momentum. One is just giveaways. Do giveaways on whatever social platform is the strongest for you. Hey guys, I have this amazing gift. Tag a friend in the comments, and I'm gonna give it away, to somebody random, tomorrow, right? And even if only 20 people or 5 people engage, somebody's gonna get a free gift, and then next time 10 people might engage, and next time 20 people might engage, and so and it's not costing you anything. It's just a way to stay engaged with your community, and you maybe whatever platform is good for you and easy for you is my recommendation to start with that kind of stuff. If you are dominating your email list, then find a way to, and there's apps and things for all of these. There's raffle apps and all kinds of stuff. So you find a way to use these gifts to grow what you're already good at. Again, start with your strengths. We can worry about fixing weaknesses later, but right now let's leverage things that you're doing well. Then another way would be a really common, right? Free gift with purchase. Hey, for any gift card right now that we sell, we're giving away a special gift with each purchase. Because a lot of times people, even if they're buying a gift for someone else, they love being incentivized. They love receiving a gift. And that, I mean, these are two ones that I see all the time, but there's a reason. Don't think that just because something is used a lot that it's not good anymore, right? A lot of times the stuff that in your world is common. Oh, I see every spa does this. Well, it might be because it's working. So it's okay to start with what's working and then look for a way to make it unique or better. But don't always think you have to find a new angle. Sometimes it's just doing the basics really well. Those are a couple of ideas. I probably have 100 more, but again, sometimes we can get overwhelmed by too many options, right? So I'm really, really a big believer in starting with what you're good with, keeping your options limited so that you get things implemented and get things moving.
Does anybody else have any specific questions for their business? Regina said she just signed up for, sorry, I just lost it. Signed up for Apple. Seems complicated. I need to have time to figure it out. Yeah, it might not be like the best time to do it during the call, Regina. But I don't think it's probably that hard, right, Tyler?
No, I'm going to show you.
I haven't done it actually myself. So Tyler, thank you so much. I mean, I've gotten some great tips, for
Yeah, no
my own
problem.
business during this call.
I'm gonna do, watch, I'm gonna actually show you guys because now one of the things about any of these kind of maps is that, or any of these kind of things, is you'll have to verify things. And so usually that means they'll mail you a postcard or they'll send it out to you. And that's just because so it seems weird at first because this is going to be a new platform for you. So the very first thing to do is just your places, once you have chosen them, will show up here, right? But then to add a place, you just literally start with adding what you know, right? So Julie, give me a spa name. I'm not going to actually add it. I'm just going to show you.
Well, let's put in, Regina, what's the name of your business? I'm sorry.
Spa Adagio.
Right. Spa Adagio.
They spell it right. And that's in what city?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Just one G, one George.
One George. I got you.
One George. Yeah, I signed in and I got the code, and then it says whether I have a payment method. So I'm not sure what it is, what it costs.
Yeah, so this is the good news, and this is what's interesting. This is all pulling from Yelp. So until this may be accurate, it may not be, but this all pulled because from the Yelp information. So I'll tell you right off the bat, once you get, so you probably will need to add payment information, right? Because in case you ever do run ads, just adding payment information is not going to bill you or anything. Okay. But right now it's pulling from Yelp because, again, all of Apple Maps and Google Maps, they all want information to be accurate. So, and they don't want to look blank. So they pull in information. That's why I said, even if you don't use Yelp, make sure your information's updated there, because even your hours are getting pulled in from here. And these may not be, they may not be accurate right now. That may be your website, may not be. Like you want to now go in and confirm all of these things. Make sure the categories are the most accurate. And then, make sure your location is right. Make sure your hours are right. And here's one of the ones that matters a lot too. This picture here at the top needs to be about your business, not just a sculpture or something, right? Because again, you want people, either a picture of your building from the outside or of your lobby or of something, but it should be a picture of your business, not a stock image. And these are little things to do to stand out. And so once you do see this, if you haven't already, you'll claim it. And then it'll ask you some verification, and it may send a postcard to you. And then once you get it with a code on it, once you get that, you claim it and it's yours, and you can make all the changes you want.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So you'll go through and add your places. And then once you have them all confirmed, then you have it, and you can come in here and you can make edits and changes. So if you want to, you can confirm that it's open. You can make sure the address is right. You can change your hours, add multiple web links, your Facebook, your Twitter. If you have an app, all of these things, you want to make sure all of this is accurate. And then, again, it gives people it's going to show up now on Apple Maps when people are looking on their phones, and some people even use Apple Maps on, on their computers. Did that help at all?
Yes, I think it was helpful. And Regina was on mute again, but I see she thought it was helpful.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other questions Tyler can help you with specifically? And then just know Tyler's going to send me that training. I'll make sure that everybody gets that training so that you can work when you have time and go through each step one by one. I suggest what works for me, might not work for you, but I time block. So, I know that I have 1 hour here. I time block it, and you could see I might have 10 things scheduled into that hour, but as long as I have that dedicated time, I bang out everything that's in there, and, no one interrupts you. So, try that little time blocking to get some of these things done, because I don't think any of them are super time consuming, but you know, it's definitely a new thing. And we will definitely be having Tyler back. You know, we're so grateful, you know, that you joined us the last few weeks, Tyler, early in California. And we're really excited here at the SpaHive. You'll be seeing something exclusive and really exciting coming to your inbox, and you guys will have access to what we're doing first. So that will be this weekend. So we're still working on it. And, you know, Tyler's helping us with it because he's amazing. And so we will have him back in the SpaHive to help everyone along the way as well, just the way he is, you know, helping us here at JMPankey Partners and the SpaHive. So I'm really excited about this new thing we're doing. You know, 2020 has been a long year for all of us. And I'm always thinking of new ways that I can help you be successful. That's, you know, my personal mission and goal in what I do. So I think that we've come up with some really exciting things, but I feel like Lindsay might have a question because I saw her pop on video. No, yes, no. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot, Lindsay.
I have a question.
No, Lindsay doesn't have a question. She just came on video because we could see her. Arena, yeah.
I have a quick question. So this Friday, I have a influencer from New York coming to my spa. So she's my very, very good client daughter, and she's big, but it's in New York. So I'm thinking, I already told her that it will be complimentary because I know, you know, there are a lot of things she can do. So what's the best? I have my ideas, how I will approach it, but what do you think, Tyler?
So just so I understand, Arena, she's not from your local market, but you think that she is influential and could help support your local market?
Right, because she has 25,000 followers. She was approached by my skincare line Eminence to be their influencer. So
Sure.
She's
Okay,
young
so
and she's beautiful.
Always delightful.
Yes.
So one, keep your expectations low of how much she's going to actually drive business directly. Because if her 25,000 followers are global and she's not from your local community, then it's neat and you might get a lot of likes on a post, but may not drive business directly. So the way I would leverage that is make sure that you get a lot of really high quality content while she's there that you can use on your social posts and you can use in your marketing and advertising. That's what I would advise is look for a way to use.
Can you give us some examples? Like what?
Yeah. So just, you know, pictures of her in your facility, in front of your facility, using your product, like getting ready for a treatment. Like, and again, I don't know exactly what type of spa you have, but if you're focused, if, you know, get her in, you know, if she's getting in the robe and she's going to sit in your your tranquility room, get photos, and and then you'll be able to tag her in pictures when you use them in your posts later, and that might get more engagement than normal. But again, you really want to focus on local, right? If your business is in Baltimore, Maryland, and she's coming from you know, New York, like the likelihood of her driving business directly is really, really low. So, but if you're going to give her that, and if get her holding products that you want to be selling, get her doing that, like get content out of it that you can use for social and when you start running ads and stuff like that later, because she might still be if she's, you know, young and beautiful and she resonates with the image of what your crowd of who you're trying to attract, then she can be good for marketing and advertising. But just keep your expectations low of somebody who's you know, a celebrity but not from your market, how they're going to impact your local market. Now, unless she's going to do stories when she's there and say, hey, if you're in the Baltimore area, please come in and check them out, or please give them a follow on Instagram. That's what I would be doing. I would just want them to follow on whatever platform she's big on. If she's big on Instagram, have them follow. Her only call to action should be follow you guys on Instagram. Because when you do start advertising and marketing only to to people who are engaging with your social media, then that's going to give you a larger pool to work with.
Yeah, and I think you can tag her back, Arena, right? So she's taking pictures and things like that, you know, get that stuff. And then when you post it, you can tag her back, but you also have an e-commerce spot, right? And you sell Eminence. So that's one thing that she can say is, you know, talk about the treatment that she had, but also the amazing products and that you can ship anywhere, right? So she doesn't have to say that.
Right,
I'm just
right.
saying it to you. So it's like her favorite place to get her Eminence products.
Yeah,
Which is true,
if you
yeah.
already have your e-commerce set up, that does change things, right? So now having her talk about one of the products and be like, and especially if you have a special offer, hey guys, I'm here with Arena at her spa, and you know what? She just told me that they're giving 20% off right now for Black Friday, and so like here's my favorite product. Link in bio, swipe up, go get it, right? Or whatever her call to action, whatever feels natural for her. If you have, yes, if you have something that is a broader potential, which is why last week we talked about why being able to ship and think e-commerce is so important. Now all of a sudden that changes everything, because now even if the people aren't in your local market, they still may love that product that she loves and be willing to buy it.
Yeah. And I mean, from you to New York, where maybe a lot of her audience is, it's a overnight shipping. Easy.
Yeah. And, you know, if you, depending on, I would look at her last like 20, 30 posts to see what types of posts got the most engagement. If her audience responds to giveaways, I might say, hey, why don't you, while you're here, tell everyone of your followers to, if they follow us and leave a comment on our last post, and you make a post about giving away a specific product, and then she says, go to their Instagram, like their, follow their page, and then leave a comment on their most recent post, tag your spa buddy, whatever you want it to be. And then you guys will pick one person out of that as a giveaway, right? That's another way to kind of use, to get that engagement. So if you have e-commerce already in place, it changes my advice completely, because now you want all those people to come to you, like your page, buy from you, that sort of thing. So find a way to get that first engagement for sure.
Thank you.
Right, because then, Arena long-term, you can be, the preferred place to buy Eminence products in the tri-state area, let's say.
She buys, my mom always buys products from me. She only uses Eminence because of me. That's true.
Exactly. So boom, there you go. And she's going to tell her people that, and they're going to want to buy it from you too, is the goal.
That will do. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for Tyler? Anybody else? Carol, do you have anything specific?
I'm like, things that I could do in the next couple of minutes and still help is, if any of you, if we want to look at one of your Instagram, want to look at something, one of your accounts, kind of like the way we looked at Spa Adagio on, on Apple Maps, I'm happy to take a look and just give kind of top level advice or feedback. No one's that brave to put their account in front of everyone.
Fresh mind. It's Inner Beauty by CJ.
Inner Beauty by CJ.
I think I actually have a question now. One of the things I'm struggling with my Instagram is getting past a certain number of followers. And it's really frustrating because I'll gain 2, lose 2, and I'm literally stuck and have been for 2 months, and it's driving me insane. So maybe something.
Okay, I'm gonna look up both of yours. What's yours, Lindsay?
Relate.
It's a Moment Away Spa. I think that's what it is. We're out of Connecticut.
Okay, I've got you guys both up. So let me go through Carol's, and then I'll go through yours real quick. Okay, this will be fun. Now, I always say, like, take knee-jerk initial overviews with a grain of salt. I'm not an expert in every one of your businesses, but one of the first things, so Carol, right off, is it's not clear to me from here if you are remote, if you have a brick and mortar. Do people come to you? Do you go to them? I can't tell, and that means that's hard for other people to tell right off just from here. So you want people to know, if you're a brick and mortar business, if you're an on-site business, if you come to them, if you're remote, whatever it is that you do, whatever the type of service you offer, should be very, very clear. It's very important for people to be able to compartmentalize you first, categorize. what is this, right? Like I always say, they need to be able to put you back in the library. Once they know where they can put you back, then they can think about the rest of the books. But if they can't put you on the shelf, they really, like, they just drop the book and walk out. And then there's little things you could do to optimize this a little bit, but you know, Carol, like I said, if you edit it from desktop, you'll be able to like format it and make, because you want each of these to be on a separate line. The interesting thing about Instagram is you get characters, but it doesn't care about how many lines it's on. So if each one of these, if you do it on a, you know, if you hit return on a computer, it will stay on new lines, just have no spaces or commas, right? Just a new line. If you do it from a on your mobile, then on your app, it'll keep bringing it up into like a run-on sentence. And that just makes it easier. People are able to read bullet points easier than paragraphs. And then again, you know, so this is one of the really interesting things too, is there's going to be a balance between using your page for personal and using your page for business. If you are trying to grow your business on your page, I recommend kind of what I call the 80-20 rule. It should be 80% business and 20% personal. And the personals you should do in great depth in your stories. That's where you stay really relevant, stay connected with people, just share your days with them, that sort of a thing. But then in these posts should be focused on the business and focused on what you're offering, right? And then, you know, we can get into a whole thing on hashtags and stuff like that. But at a very basic level, before you start doing any of the stuff we talked about with advertising, just optimize this right here and make sure that at least one of your last 3 posts is a very business focused post about, and it doesn't have to be, when I say business focused, it doesn't mean like selling them, but like relevant to what you're doing, right? Is that good, Carol? I don't want to overwhelm. So that's like,
yeah, this is a fairly new page, so
yeah, totally
it's going to be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem. All right. And then a moment away, and this was Lindsay's. Okay, so cool. Good job on your story highlights. This is all great. Good job on the call to action. Same thing about editing this from desktop. So you have like bullet points instead of a long sentence, but really, really good information. Right off the bat, you hit 2 locations in Connecticut. So people know that you're a local business. Shop online, that's good. Call us. You have your calls to action and which locations you're, all very good. You're blending the business with personal at a good ratio right off the bat. I can already tell that's good. So, okay. One thing I'm going to like, for right now, let's all accept likes and followers are not what they used to be. It doesn't matter like it used to matter. 4 years ago, you could get on Instagram and you could dominate. You could grow quickly. There was all these little hacks and ways to beat the algorithm. It's hard. And I'll tell you why. One, people don't like Instagram posts the way they used to. It used to be if they saw something that they thought remotely interested, they double tap and keep scrolling, and they just don't. And it's because of content overwhelm. There's so much content now on. So Instagram is a lot more of like a mini review page and a mini like it's a mini yellow pages. People will look and be like, if they'll look up a moment away spa, and then they'll check your Instagram to make sure you're legit. So I really focus on local Instagrams being credible more than huge and super engaging and all the other stuff. I just want them to look great. And I'll give you an example. We were running a campaign for a supplement that was going nationwide. And whenever we used to get a supplement into like GNC, they used to, 2 or 3 years ago, they would ask, well, what's their advertising and television budget? Like, how much are they spending on ads on TV? Do you know what they ask now? What's their Instagram account? And it's not necessarily how big of their follower list is. They know that when people are in their store, they'll pull up Instagram and look at the pictures of their product. So this is silly and nice and fun. Nothing wrong with doing these types of things. Make sure though that like within your next post being super relevant to your business again. Things like these are great. Is that IGTV or a Reels? If you really, really want to grow, if that's important to you, you've got to think today. Meaning you've got to do reels, you've got to do Instagram TV, things to bring people in. I would take every one of your frequently asked questions and turn that into an Instagram, an IGTV, or a reel, right? Every one of those, and do it. And if you really, really want to use this platform to grow, you have to turn this into an everyday thing. Your stories should happen throughout the day, 5, 6, 7 times a day. And you should be doing like a reels or every day, do a reel. And again, if for some of you, you may not even know what we're talking about. We're talking about reels, totally okay. I don't think you need to get into that depth, but if you are going to do it, just commit to it for at least 30 days before you decide to like abandon it, because it does take time to get momentum. And then my last hack, if you will, or shortcut for getting growth if you're a local business, is collaborating again with other people that have more followers than you in your local community. And I love that you do have your locations here. I think that's super, super important. Your highlights are really, really good. And I'm not going to go through each one, but make sure that the highlights are focusing on education and not just random content. Like, here's pictures of people getting their nails done, right? That you want it to be nails, and then it should essentially be like a 3 to 6 part ad and like info, like advertorial on how getting your nails done at a Moment Away spa, about that experience, how much it costs, what their options are. Again, people are consuming business content for information and entertainment, but they want to understand the business better. What you don't want is just a bunch of pictures of random people getting their nails done that doesn't further their education or their experience or understanding of what your business does. And so,
Okay,
yeah, that's a
quick
lot.
question.
Sorry.
No, that was great. With the reels, should it be always me, or should it be some of the staff? I think that's where I'm struggling is, should I be the face of the company always, or should it include my team leaders or some of the other staff that, if they're willing to do it?
Are you you're the business owner?
Yeah.
Do you have a partner?
Not on paper, but my husband.
Yeah,
sort
okay.
of.
Sure. No, I get it. I'm just making, in your staff. The downside of like really getting your staff included, the only downside is like they're employees, right? They may not want to. So here's how I would do it if I was you. You're the face. Own it, focus on it, be the face. As you do it, some of your staff members will express interest because it's naturally easier for them, then include them. But I personally would not push it on them at all, because you don't want, like, if let's say you have a really introverted staff member and all of a sudden now work becomes like stressful because you're wanting to record them. So I would lead by example for the first like 2 weeks. And then the people that are expressing interest, then bring them and say, yeah, dude, we would love to have you. Sorry, dude, a very West Coast thing of me to say. But yeah, we would totally love to have you involved. You know, let's do one with you. And what's your favorite thing? And then you do an introduction and explain it. But I would absolutely embrace that you are the owner, you're the face of the business, and you're going to be doing 90% of them.
I mean, I'm looking at your Instagram right now, Lindsay. Scroll down, Tyler, to right there. So the most engaged posts right now are this video was 95 views, and the one next to it, both had much better engagement because it was a little bit more personal, and it's you, because people do associate it, you with the brand.
Okay. Yeah, I totally 100% agree. If you want to go deep, here's my thing. And all of you, stop posting memes. Stop it. Like, unless you're going to become a meme account, just don't do that kind of stuff. Don't do these kind of happy Halloween posts. These posts, humans in your business, that's what you're doing. Please post humans. Make it human. Think about your friend's Instagram account, right? If you're scrolling through your friend's Instagram, this is funny, they're great. 1 out of every 10, totally okay. But what you really should be doing, and you can look and get a pretty fast example, when it's you and your face and you and other humans, your engagement is 10 to 1. Totally. So, and it's okay. Like here's the thing. Like, I'm okay with doing like Veterans Day posts and things like this. But if you really want to get better, like, take a picture of the flag in front of your store without any words on it and put in the captions, Happy Veterans Day from us. Think about making your business Instagram more like if you were just sharing your day on Instagram 10 years ago, right? When Instagram started, we would just take pictures of our food and take pictures of a pretty sunset, and we weren't worried about like how many likes it was going to get and everything. It was so just sharing. Please be human and social in your social media. Get away from the memes, get away from the using the like this. So, and in my training, I'll explain. This is a promotion. This is an ad. What I want all of you to realize is that we want to get away from advertising in our organic side. We're going to start paying to play. And here's why. When I'm scrolling on your Instagram, I'm looking for connection and for content and for humans. And then now that I've engaged here, if you follow the tips I'm going to send you, I'm in Connecticut because you're going to target geographically. Now when I'm leave and I'm going to get targeted later with an ad from A Moment Away Spa that says, hey, like, here's our special offer for November. And it's like, oh, I was just on their page, right? So when you're on organic, you want it to feel organic. But then an ad won't feel as intrusive because you engaged with them. And again, so I didn't go into massive depth on this. In fact, I completely skipped over it. But what you're going to basically do is have two and this is our little teaser for going forward. You have 2 ad campaigns. One is a brand awareness. That's just going to be get your brand in front of more people. And that's naturally, Lindsay, going to grow your followers, but very slowly. And then anyone who's engaged with your Instagram account, your Facebook page, or your website in the last 30 days, then you're going to run an ad to them. And so your offers are going to be going to only people who have recently interacted with your brand, but in a way that they expect an ad to happen. And it's the difference of, feeling sold to and feeling nurtured, right? And it's really interesting how different like that feel. One last thing I would say, you have A Moment Away Spa here, and then here it's A Moment Away LLC. I don't think anyone needs to know that it's an LLC. I would change that to say spa. That's more likely what people would search, okay? Other than that, you have the basics done really well, and you should be proud of yourself for that, Lindsay. I would just really embrace that you're going to be the face of the brand and just go for it. Just be the face. It might feel like you're being a little bit self-centered. Just understand that you see yourself a lot. People on Instagram don't see you that much. It's not as the spotlight's not as bright as it feels.
That's true. Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Tyler. So we just dropped in the chat, Regina wanted to connect with everyone so we can all connect on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, Lindsay, I've never even followed your spa until now. I don't know how. I haven't, but I looked, I assumed that I did, and I was like, what? So I just followed you on Instagram. So you got another follower. We call those vanity metrics, right? So it's not about the number of followers, but it's about the number of people that engage and that are going to actually buy from you. So that's our goal, is to get people to actually come to your spa and buy from you. And I think Tyler said it great. Social, and I have to have this beat into my own head. I'm not perfect at any of these things. And so, social is just that. It's social. It's like this, getting together, having a coffee chat. That's what people want on social, is that connection, to get to know you better. So I see everyone's putting their Instagram, it looks like, in the chat, which is good, so we can all connect. You can always just copy and paste that so you can connect with everyone. Or Marianne can snip it out. We're recording this particular one, the 2 with Tyler. So I'll get a text version and we can snip it out and send it with the training that Tyler's gonna send. So thanks.
Sorry, really fast. One recommendation, I noticed a few of you did it. Whenever someone's asking for your Instagram, type out instagram.com if it's in a chat forum like this, because then they can click on it as a link. And if you notice, like Marianne did that for Julie, and so hers is hyperlinked, and the rest of ours you have to like copy and paste. So it's those little things that you want things to be super easy for people. And then again, I said it earlier, like, you know, and then Happy was saying that, you know, doesn't have Instagram. That's okay. Like if you're good on Facebook, focus on that. Whatever the thing that you're already good at, get a little bit better there first before you go try to add new things in.
Right, exactly. Good point. Yeah, there was one more thing I read that I was gonna say, but now I can't read. Let me read through these one more time. Okay, I don't see it. So I guess if it comes up, we could talk about it another time. There was something that I saw, was a question in here. A question here is like, if you're doing a promotion, is it clickable? So definitely put link in bio and put that link in your bio so it can be clickable and people can go wherever you want them to go to buy. Like say the gift certificate thing, Lindsay, I don't know if that was clickable. I didn't look at it myself, but if you're promoting selling gift certificate, do that link in the bio if that's what you want to promote, right? That'll drive them over to buy the gift certificates on your website.
Yep. And that's one of the cool things about doing it as, I tried to help and then I just realized I messed it up too. Is one of the great things about doing, I was trying to help, who posted that one? Irina. I was trying to help type yours in and then I still typed it in wrong too. So it's,
so it's still not clickable.
.com/ that one should do it. All right. So one of the great things about when you do it as a paid ad is that little learn more or shop now, that button is built in, right? And so one of the, you know, there are times you want to drive people to link in bio and that's awesome. And then the nice thing though is when you do start doing ads, even at a very low budget, all of a sudden when people see that ad in their feed, they can click on the button and go to the next step. And so until you get to that, you know, but one thing I'm seeing just right off the bat is just really get into fundamentals, right? Don't let the big stuff stress any of you out. Just start by making everything a little bit better. And then if you just get a little bit better every day, growth compounds upon itself. And pretty soon you're dominating social media.